Happy Monday, everybody. This is Robert, and for this topic, I'm going to go into advocacy at my local pros program. I am currently facilitating a group on regard, and the title of it is Advocacy, and it is advocacy is something that can really be helpful with mental illness. There's a saying that I think describes advocacy pretty well. It was an old saying. The saying is, if you give a man a fish, you feed him for a day. You teach a man to fish, and you feed him for a lifetime. And that's pretty much what advocacy is and about. With advocacy, as a preface, I want to go into something to give a little bit more explanation. Now, we all need help from time to time. It's just we're not perfectly capable of taking care of everything. It's important to ask for help. And what I do, when I ask for help and I receive it, that's wonderful, and I appreciate that. But by the same token, I also find myself asking for help again. So kind of depending on the help. There's a tendency to depend on the help, which, I mean, if it's in place and you have that available, that's great, and you're not taking advantage of anything, then excellent. Then you have help. But by the same token, when I empower myself with education and resources and am able to help myself in a sense from that, empower, then I don't need to get help as much. And both are wonderful options. There's nothing wrong with getting help. It's awesome to be able to help yourself. But the difference is when I am able to help myself and I'm independent, I feel amazing inside. So I like being empowered and being able to advocate for myself. There's a better benefit. I mean, it's nice to, again, I'm not bashing help or getting help if it's available to you. But for me personally, when I'm able to help myself, that helps me manage my mental illness and all the shapes, forms, and everything in a better level, more effectively. It helps my self-esteem. I feel great inside because you're not, you're taking control and, you're helping yourself in a sense. So that's why I'm a big proponent of advocacy. Advocacy is very important with mental illness. The majority of this video from now on, from this point out, will be about our voice, because our voice is very important with advocacy. So before I talk about the voice and our voice, I want to talk about I just want to get my information here. In our lives, we experience many different negative things: losses, trauma, abuses, betrayals, things out of our control, all these different things. And it can lead to, in a way, after all that, it leads to different types of potentially mental illness and with depression, anxiety, or some type of thing. Sometimes we have a personality, different types of personality disorders or anything else, extensive mental illness that impact who we are. And all of these things can contribute to take our voice away, influence us to be more quiet, more withdrawn. The negative things have a tendency to have a negative impact on our voice and things. But I think with advocacy, you need your voice. Your voice express advocacy. The major point of advocacy is to express what you need in a clear, concise way. With mental illness in all its forms, flavors, doing that is very difficult. It could be because we don't feel like we deserve what we need, so we keep quiet and we keep away from that. It could be we're afraid to try because we've tried to get what we need and it's just not worked out, with whether the people in our lives have prevented us from getting it, or the depression or anything. Things have standed in the way from us getting what we need, so we become discouraged. It becomes like a learned helplessness, which is very, very prevalent with mental illness. So, you know, it is important with advocacy to work on regaining your voice, make it strong, make it powerful, make it loud, because that's how you're going to get what you need. Like I want to give an example, a specific example of what happens when you don't express your voice. And when your voice is quiet, you're contained, stifled. So, say you're at an intensive treatment place. So I work for Ellis Hospital. I work on the inpatient units. I work in the emergency room. Say I'm just going to give this specific example, and this is not something that is potentially happening one way or another. This is just a generic example, not based in reality. I just want to say that. But like, say I'm getting treatment and a person isn't necessarily nice to me. Maybe you know, maybe they're a little too rough in giving injections, phlebotomy, taking blood work. Maybe they get frustrated because they've had a bad day and they take it out on you. Now, those are all unacceptable examples if you're a patient. So when you know, here's what happens. Say you don't say anything for that. So here's the consequences of not expressing your voice. So you don't say anything, that happens. No one knows about it. Nobody knows that there's anything going on, and you know, it continues. And sometimes when you don't say anything, situations like that just get bigger and bigger. Molehill becomes a mountain, because you know, if things aren't addressed, and no one knows that anything's going on that's inappropriate or unacceptable, then nothing changes. And a lot of times when nothing changes, it doesn't just stay stagnant, it becomes worse. So it's important to express your voice in that situation to the appropriate things, and that's where advocacy comes in. You go and talk to a superior, whoever, you know, you express that you need to speak to somebody. People find out about that. Maybe you say something that inspires somebody else to say something, and the more people that say something, the more chances of things can happen to be changed. So it is absolutely imperative to express. This is one type of specific advocacy that you know, I'll talk about in future videos, but I wanted to give an example of how important it is for your voice when you're dealing with advocacy and what you need. It's hard, and when our voice is taken from us, it's very hard, scary, discouraging to try to regain it. But it's important. It's the most important thing you'll do. If you want to get better, you want to live a happy life, you want to get what you need, it's important to have your voice so you can advocate for yourself. So that's the gist of this video. Hope everybody got something of it. I'm going to be doing more videos reflective of the topics that I do with the groups that I do in the pros. This was the first one about advocacy and our voice. You guys have a wonderful day. I hope it was able to help somebody. God bless.